Welcome back. Devastation in Turkey and Syria 5 days after a massive earthquake killed thousands. Today, the death toll has passed over 25,000 killed with thousands more injured. Hundreds of thousands have lost their homes and everything they own. Earlier this week, I spoke with Kristen Barredo, Director of Emergency Programs at World Vision, a global aid organization. Now, World Vision is on the ground helping survivors in Turkey and Syria. She shares what they need most right now. Kristen Barredo, Director of Emergency Programs at World Vision, that's a global aid organization, joins us now via Zoom. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, can you really begin just by telling us some of what people on the ground are seeing in Turkey and Syria? The images, they're just heartbreaking. So what's the biggest need?
It's really devastating. Right now, we're still very much in the recovery and response phase. So the biggest need is finding shelter for all of these people who have been displaced. And right now, it's desperately cold there with the winter temperature. So finding heat sources is another big thing, keeping those survivors, people who have been displaced from their homes, warm and just with the supplies that they need to survive over the next few days as they establish what happens next.
I can't even imagine. Now, tell us a little bit more about World Vision and what it's doing to help. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Right. So in the first 24 hours, we were there. We're on the ground. We have staff who are local. And so they were there ready to distribute heaters and fuel to shelters to help people. And we're also working with local organizations there to make sure that they have the food and equipment that they need. So we'll be providing clean water. So one of the biggest things we see after disasters like this is without access to clean water, people are really susceptible to the spread of disease. So we're worried about things like the spread of COVID and cholera, making sure people have what they need to stay healthy and stay safe over the next few days.
You know, some of the images that we're seeing, they're really just heartbreaking. They really tell the story of what these people are going through. So when you're helping, what would you say is really the biggest obstacle when it comes to getting aid there?
You know, the context of where this happened is just very challenging. We're on the border between two different countries, and we're seeing that access, particularly in northwest Syria, is very challenging. And so that's the area that we're most concerned about. People in northwest Syria, they still have not seen the aid like we're seeing in some of the pictures coming out of Turkey. They're not getting the rescue teams coming in. They still don't have access to warm blankets, to heating supplies. Fuel is in short supply across the region, and just access for humanitarian workers. The roads have been blocked because of damage from the earthquake and heavy snow. So it's just really difficult to get into some of these very hard hit areas that still have not received access to aid. And we're, multiple days out at this point.
You know, as we see more of these images, we know that people here, they have the biggest hearts. They want to help. So how can people here in the U.S. reach out and help? What's the best way?
I say right now, the need is just resources. Find a trusted organization. Obviously, I can recommend going to worldvision.org and contributing there. Right now, that's going to be the fastest way to get supplies on the ground. I think following these sorts of disasters, one thing people would really like to do, is send clothes, send gifts in kind, things that they have available to them. It's very challenging to get the logistics behind that, get things sent over. And we also do want to make sure we're supporting the local markets, especially as they've been so impacted here. So we really recommend purchasing local and going with trusted organizations to get aid on the ground as quickly as possible.
A little bit can certainly go a long way. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Have a great one.
Thanks for having me.